So we'll start with this lady's problem. Was she took her sink waste off, it was one of these type, and she took a bit of pipe off as well, looking to see where the blockage was. Now when it came to putting it all back, that's when she had a problem. Now what she did was she took this bit off, and she took this bit off, and then we started getting problems. So now these sink traps are all slightly different in their designs. This may or may not be your type. This one has a rubber washer here. Now they all have seals. These seals wear away. When you take them off, they can be all perished and need renewing even, but sometimes it's best, if they are still in one piece, don't take it off, leave it on, okay, and get it back on and done up. This is just this particular one. Other traps have them the other way round. I'll show you. And also, before we go to that extent, this end was taken off. This is the bit that goes on to the pipe. So we'll take that off of there, and so you can see the pipe went in there like so. So what went wrong was we took this off, and as you can see, there's these parts inside, the rubber parts. So once that's all off, it's easy to get a bit confused what's going where. So that washer into the back of the nut. Okay, so we'll say here's our pipe coming along to go onto it. Slide that nut on. This isn't quite right size pipe for this, but I'm just showing you. This is the important part, this rubber washer. Now my lady friend had put it round that way, which is completely the wrong way round. Okay, it's very easy to think it goes that way, but it doesn't. Okay, so you've got to remember that the fatter part goes on that way round, like an olive does on a piece of copper tube. And you push it down the pipe that way on with your little fibre washer at the back, and it's ready to go into the pipe and then do it up. And that is the right way round. Okay, and once you've done that, you should have no problems with leaks. Only used to be done up by hand normally in most occasions, alright, only hand tight. I'm just showing you it's the end of that, but that's no problem. So now back to the bit that goes inside there. I was pretending to use it as a bit of pipe just to show you just now, but once again, this has got to go around the right way. Now a friend had this off, and she was trying to force it down that way over that lip. Now don't try and do that, it's not meant to go that way. Right, first we'll make sure the rubber washer is in there. There's a little groove for it, okay, and that is for the rubber washer to sit in there. Okay, so get that in there and make sure it's not twisted, nice and straight. Then get the nut that was going up onto your sink waste, the black part underneath, or it might be a chrome piece like this, and it goes up through the sink. So imagine that's a sink and it goes through there. So that nut that way on, okay, so that when it meets the sink waste you can do it up. Alright, so it goes up like so and screws onto the bottom of your sink. Alright, the black, it's either be a black one with a waste overflow coming off it, or it could be an old-fashioned one like that. Once you've got that, then that bit goes on that way, and you'll have the same thing with this olive again. This kind of cone-shaped rubber piece. Not that way, that is the wrong way, that is the right way. Okay, so always the fatter bit up against there. Now in these they don't have a rubber washer, sorry, a fibre washer like that. They don't have this piece. Okay, so try not to get confused with that. And then that slots in there. It enables it to slide up and down. Not many that slide up and down, but these are the adjustable traps. And then just do it up by hand and all should be okay. Alright, and that's pretty much it. So pipe wise, you know, it will be the same kind of thing. If I show you a pipe fitting, this is an 1¼ inch one. These ones have got little blue fibre washers in them, and you can see that go on like that. So if I get you a bit of 1¼ inch pipe, you can see that goes on there with the fibre washer. There it is. Get that round the right way. Again, fat bit at the back of the nut and into your pipe fitting whatever it is.
So why do some of them have the fibre washer and others don't?
Mainly it's all these poly type ones that have the fibre washer at the back, give it a bit more strength at the back. They don't usually use it on the traps. The traps don't have it, very rarely. It's usually just on these particular type of plastic waste fittings that you have that fibre washer at the back. It probably would still hold without it, to be honest, but they just happen to be there, so you may as well use them, you know. But I think it's to give it a little bit more so it doesn't compress the rubber into the back of that. It enables that nut to turn with that washer on it, and rather than the rubber getting squeezed around as you tighten it up. But they don't, very rarely, as I say, have them on there. You know, this one always seems to be just a rubber washer that slides up and down. So
maybe is it because it's adjustable? Maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, it just seems to be that way. So that's basically the sink waste one. We move on. Say basin waste again. If you're taking that off because it's blocked, you should have a washer there. If I take that off, you can see the groove for it. If the groove, you know, there's no washer there, it is a problem. There is a little way around it you can use, and that's get a bit of PTFE tape. I'll take that off, pull it out about 6 inches, strand it together like a bit of string and wind that around that groove, and that will help you get by if this washer's gone. So, and the same with the sink waste. If it's gone, then put a PTFE tape around it until you can get a rubber washer, but usually it works and holds it. And again, inside these there'll be washers, so all of the seals, just make sure that the washers are in there. That's all we're doing here, making sure. And there's the other one there, and a bit of a cobweb. And that's it. And lastly, if you've got these push fit ones, not many people have got them, make sure that's got a washer in there. If that's all broken and damaged, it won't hold. Also, when you put your pipe into this, push it in, I'm showing a bit 1.25 inches, but if it's 1.5 inches, that'd be tight. Put a bit of Vaseline or something around it and it will slip in easier. It's without pushing that washer away, because if you're too tight and dry, it will push it to the back of the pipe and it won't hold anything. But there's not much of this stuff about now with the like that, so if you see that type of fitting, you know that that's got that rubber washer. If you pulled the pipe out, Vaseline it or soap, liquid soap's just as good, so that the pipe will push back in without pushing that rubber washer to the back. Okay, what does that leave us with? The humble bottle trap, if you've got one of these. Again, washer on the top, and it's what I showed you inside again. The back, you can see the washer there. Again, it's that type of arrangement. Okay, you can see that. And with these, if you have got what we call a bottle trap, this unscrews, and that's where you normally clear the waste, and there'll be a washer down there, a little black one. Okay, so make sure that doesn't ever come out and that it's not perished or broken, because it will leak if it is. Okay, and that's a bottle trap. Not many of them about these days. The other thing, people have these with traps like this. Have a piece coming in for a dishwasher, a washing machine. You only need to take this bit out normally, but if you want to take the trap to bits to make sure, obviously that's when you've got to keep an eye on those washers that you get them around the right way. Now, this bit again usually has that rubber washer, and this bit here, the seal, same with the fibre washer thing again. Okay, so we know that goes on there. Get it around the right way. It's always the thick bit, if you remember, to the back of the nut. Right, and that will enable you to go back onto it. Well, I haven't got a trap to show you, but to bolt it back onto your waste trap. That's a washing machine trap, they're called. Bath waste, if you've got this type, now you can see the little ring is missing. This is an 1.25 inch one, very rare actually, but if it's 1.5 inch one, it will be the same. That's 40mm. This is a 32. So if it's a 40mm trap, 1.5 inch, make sure anyway that rubber ring is there. If not, again, PTFE tape, and like I showed you on the other one, same fittings in the end. There'll be a little cap in here like that with a rubber thing in there. That's the seal, so make sure that is okay before we go putting it back in. And that's that. That's about it. If you've got solvent welded fittings, don't try to pull the pipe out. If you've got that on there, you won't be able to pull it out of one of these because it's solvent welded in with this stuff and you can't move it. Once that's on there, that's it, finished. You've got to cut it with a saw. There's no getting that off. Okay, it's a one time only. There's a basin waste. That's an older fashioned one, but they are coming back these days a bit more. With these, there'd be a nut on the bottom going up for a basin, and some people have washers on them up there, a rubber washer like so, up to the end. But I prefer a bit of plumber's mate round there, and then when it goes through the basin, always there's this hard washer like that goes up underneath. Again, I'll put a bit of plumber's mate around the bottom of the basin as well, and then do it up. But that's up to you, and that goes on there. And that's a basin waste, and that's about it really.
Golly, who would have thought there were so many fittings, washers, sizes? Goodness.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare really. So I can see why a few people have had problems once they've taken the waste off to clear a block, is getting it all back. Because if you had to take it right to pieces, which sometimes it's blocked right the way through, you've got to get it all off to get stuff in to clean it all out. So it's very easy then to get in a bit of a muddle. So hopefully that's helped you all out a little bit.